Suppose if you are in India, you started trading today. What was your exact 90 days plan to go from zero to consistently profitable trader?
Sure, I educate myself.
Sir, you already recommended so many books.
Market Wizards, Trading in the Zone is a good.
Sir, many of my Indian listeners are in similar situation right now. Small jobs, big dreams. What kept you going?
I would say commit to learning before trading.
Graduate from Millersville University and you get a degree speech communication. At the time when you do janitor job, another 2 or 3 jobs, whatever you did at your struggling time.
Dark moments in the journey, but I kept trying. I never gave up. I surrounded myself with the right people, and I'm a true believer.
Okay, namaste.
Yep, namaste.
हेलो एंड वेलकम टू अनदर इंस्पायरिंग एपिसोड ऑफ टॉक विद सपना। आज के जो हमारे गेस्ट हैं वो फॉरेक्स एंड स्टॉक मार्केट के एक्सपर्ट हैं। एक अमेरिकन सिटीजन है और इनकी जर्नी एक टॉयलेट क्लीनर से स्टार्ट की थी। इनके ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड में लगभग 1.5 लाख प्लस स्टूडेंट्स हैं और ये फॉरेक्स की स्ट्रेटजी बनाना सिखाते हैं। ये एक स्मार्ट इन्वेस्टर भी हैं। इन्होंने करीब $2.5 लाख के कैपिटल को मैनेज किया है। इनकी जो पर्सनालिटी है वो एक डायमेंशन पे लिमिटेड नहीं है, इनकी मल्टीपल पर्सनालिटीज हैं। ये एक यूनिवर्सिटी के ट्रैक कोच हैं, ये एक फॉरेक्स ट्रेडर हैं, ये एक लेजेंडरी मेंटोर होने के साथ साथ एक इन्वेस्टर भी हैं। तो आइए जानते हैं इनके स्ट्रगल, इनके सेक्रीफाइसेस और इनकी जर्नी के बारे में, कैसे इनके सेक्रीफाइसेस ने इन्हें ग्राउंड लेवल से ग्लोबल लेवल तक पहुंचा। वेल, आई नो your schedule is quite busy, so thank you so much, sir, for giving me your precious time.
No worries. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So let's start.
Good to go.
I have been following you for many days, and I have watched most of your YouTube podcast videos and your channel named as podcast. It was difficult for me because many of trading thing is completely technical, and I'm not in a technical background. I'm in arts background. I'm math in honors, little similar to you. But now I have started to understand some concept in trading, and I wanted to improve my knowledge in trading. Also, many people in India wants to learn trading, but they are not get that mentorship, that knowledge. They are very confused.
Yeah.
So in this podcast, I'm trying to help them to get a perfect mentor in a affordable price.
Yeah, that's a good work. Yeah.
Many people in India don't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to you give a brief intro about yourself so that Indian people who don't know about who is Mr. Akil Stokes, they can
sure.
You and they can acknowledge you and assume as you are their mentor.
Awesome. So I'll give you a brief background. My name is Akil Stokes, as you mentioned. I am a professional trader. I'm also a trading coach over at tier1trading.com. I got into trading really by accident. I had no intention of being a trader. I had graduated from university, and I've always been good with finances as far as like not wastefully spending money and stuff like that. And after graduating from university, I asked my dad, I said, hey, I've got some money. What should I do with it? And he encouraged me to put it in the stock market. And that's where I first got my exposure to understanding the stock market, how it works, how money can work for you. And after a pretty decent period of success in the stock market, I actually went to Forex trading, mainly because a friend of mine told me that it's a bigger market, exposure to understanding the stock market, how it works, how money can work for you. And after a pretty decent period of success in the stock market, I actually went to Forex trading, mainly because a friend of mine told me that it's a bigger market, it's a more aggressive market, you can make more money with less in a shorter period of time, all the things that kind of you want to hear at a younger age. And I had a few setbacks in there. It took a while to really learn the realities of trading, that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, that it is going to take a lot of time, work, and effort to get good at it. But eventually, after lots of ups and downs, I got good and was able to really create my dream life out of trading. So here I am today, trying to give back to as many as possible.
Yes. So you told us that you completed your graduation and then your father told you to go and earn your own money. And I researched about you something, some sources like social media, YouTube channel. You are available on every platform like Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, every platform. You have a community. You have large worldwide student. Your own trading institute, one-tier trading. I researched about you and I found it you struggled a lot in your early career time. You do
Yeah.
3 jobs in a day, like janitor, then a coach of a track coach, and a special ed students. You guided them. How was that time? It is painful, or how you overcome that time?
It was tough. It wasn't easy for sure. Obviously, in hindsight, looking back, it was all worth it. But there were many times where I wanted to give up, where I was this close to giving up, where I was ready to throw my dreams away and go back to working in the schools and cleaning toilets at night. I think the two things that saved me there was one, I had a very supportive girlfriend at the time, wife now, who just continued to encourage me during those down periods and kind of be like, hey, be my personal cheerleader, I guess, where it's like, you got that, keep going. And then two was just the thought of the future. I've always worked extremely hard for others my entire life. And I got to the point where I was just tired. I was working three jobs at the time and it was making good money for a single person straight out of college. But I'm looking 5, 10 years, 15 years into the future when I want to have a family, I want to have kids. And I'm just saying, I don't know if I have the energy to keep doing this. So I made a bold jump. I bet on myself. I quit those three jobs. That way I can dedicate myself to trading. And honestly speaking, I thought I'd be successful a lot quicker than I actually was, hence kind of the dark moments in the journey. But I kept trying. I never gave up. I surrounded myself with the right people. And I'm a true believer that if you do things the right way for the right amount of time, you will eventually get success. And I stuck to that motto and it worked out for me.
Yes, sir. Hard work always give result. Sir, many of my Indian listeners are in similar situation right now. Small jobs, big dreams. What kept you going?
Yeah, just the dreams of freedom. At first, it was financial freedom. Just not being in a situation where I have to worry about bills or car payments or feeding myself. But it really morphed over the years to freedom of time. I really value time, especially after having kids. Like the flexibility to be able to go watch my kids play a sport, to call off from work. I just call it not needing to call off from work. Just decide, hey, I'm not going to work these hours because my kid is playing an instrument in a band or something like that. I just wanted the ability to kind of do whatever I want whenever I wanted to do it. And trading provides that flexibility. It doesn't mean you can't doesn't mean you can do whatever you want in trading. You still have to stick to a routine. You still have to be very professional in your approach, but it does provide more flexibility than me needing to call a boss and beg for him or her to let me get off of work early so I can do something. I can just kind of make my own decisions and then make up for it later, which is very important to me. Yes, sir. Freedom is something which gave you the energy to do something for yourself and your family also. You told me you got married. Can I know at what age you got married? Man, I should know this off the top of my head. I'm gonna get in trouble. I believe I was 20. I think I was 27 when I got married. 27.
I'm not getting wrong. Is that your graduate time?
No, I graduated a few years earlier. So I graduated
Okay,
2000 and my first degree in 2007, and then my second degree in 2010.
Okay. Sir, 2018, when you co-founder of Tier 1 Trading, Forbes call you innovator in trading education. What makes Tier 1 different from 1,000 other trading courses?
Well, I think what makes tier one trading different, or I know what makes tier one trading different, is really our focus. I think many other trading courses out there focus on just the content, where they're teaching you a system, they're teaching you a strategy, they're teaching you a technique. And not saying that stuff is unimportant, it's very important, but that's not what makes you successful. Me and my business partner, Jason Greystone, we always say trading courses don't work, where you can have a trading course, you can be in any trading course, but just by taking it isn't going to make you successful. What we believe makes you successful is the supportive resources. So when we started tier one trading, we did that around community, meaning, yes, you're going to have all the knowledge available to kind of do whatever you want in trading, but the biggest resource is going to be having two mentors, having two coaches that you can talk to and interact with on a regular basis, and then having a community of traders that are supportive, that are inspiring, that are motivating, and that will hold you accountable. And when you surround yourself in a group of success, it becomes a lot easier for you to be successful as well. And the cool thing about that is when we first started tier one trading, we actually got mentioned in Forbes magazine as being one of the leading innovators of trading education because we were the first ones kind of taking this approach versus selling you the magic system or strategy.
Okay, take us back to in 2007 when you graduate from Millersville University and you get a degree speech communication. At the time when you do janitor job and other two or three jobs, whatever you did at your
Mhm.
struggling time, how do you know about a stock market? Because in terms of trading, your journey start from stock market. Then
Mhm.
how you go in stock market? How involved in that?
I actually got involved in the stock market through a friend. It was my girlfriend's at the time. Her grandfather figure was well, he ended up
Your
he was a
girlfriend
really good stock.
grandfather.
Yes, my girlfriend's grandfather. So not her technical
Okay.
grandfather, but a grandfather figure because she doesn't really know her dad. Um, I found out I went in to meet him just because things were getting serious between us two, and he had to do the grandfatherly thing to check me out and evaluate me, make sure I was good enough for her.
Oh,
And I found out, yeah, I found out during that conversation he was a really big investor, both in the stock market and the real estate market. And we kind of spoke a little bit about that because that was the same time I was just getting into it. And one, I think I gained his approval by having that right mindset about money and wanting my money to be in a position where it can grow. But I also gained a mentor. Now, it wasn't at first, but I said, hey, I'm going to sit in your office and I'm just going to listen to you for like 3 straight months. I'll, do whatever you want me to do. I just want to acquire knowledge. I want to see why you're thinking, what you're thinking, who you're talking to. And for that entire summer, I came in every day. I sat in his office. I listened and observed. And by the end of it, because he knew I was serious, he said, hey, let me take you under my wing and actually start teaching you the ropes, which is pretty cool.
okay. Sir, at that time you already do three jobs, and after that
Mhm.
you go and to your girlfriend grandfather and learn about stock market. How you manage time?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of time. I am blessed. I think if I had one superpower, it would be I have a incredibly large motor, meaning I can outwork anyone in my opinion, and that's always how I've been from even an athlete's perspective. So I didn't look at it as not having enough time. I looked at it as, hey, this is what needs to get done. Either I do it or I don't do it. But it did start to wear on me eventually. I'll tell you that.
That's the spark in you which makes you
Yeah.
right now the Akil Stokes brand
Yep, that's
name, who is the worldwide students teacher mentor. Okay.
Hmm.
In US, stock
Hmm?
market are different in comparison to Indian market or anything or other countries. So,
Hmm.
give me a brief intro for my Indian listeners who don't know about the stock market in US. In terms of US,
Yeah, so the stock market, think of it as a basket of publicly traded companies. So many of your popular companies out there are in the stock market, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Walmart, Amazon. And it's a place where, in a sense, you can have ownership kind of you get a touch of ownership in these companies by buying stock. So if you feel strongly about something, if you feel that it's undervalued or you think that it should be worth more or that the value is going to continue to rise, what you would do is you would invest in that stock, and as the stock rises, you're a part of that. As the stock drops, you're a part of that as well. And then there's also baskets of stocks as well called indices, where if you don't want to pick individual stocks, and this is what I would recommend to any newer trader, is you find an index like the S&P, which is a big grouping of 500 different stocks, and you just say, hey, I'm going to throw some money in there. I know it's managed in a way where this thing is going to rise bigger picture, and that can kind of give you your first exposure into the stock market if you're not comfortable going in and picking individual countries, companies.
Okay. So for those who completely new in stock market or any kind of market, who wants to enter in investment or a stock investor or a trader, how they acknowledge these things and how stock market are different to forex trading, because you told us ki, your friend introduced you forex trading
Mhm.
at I think 2012.
Yeah, 2000, yeah, 2010, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
2010, yeah.
At 2012 your friend introduced you about forex trading, and before
Mhm.
that you were in stock market, and when you quit your jobs.
Yeah, I didn't know Forex trading was a thing until my friend introduced me. I had no idea about I knew different countries have different currencies just from exchange rates and stuff like that, but I had no idea it could be traded. So he introduced it to me. I didn't know much about it. I did a bunch of research and it sounded kind of cool. And this was my best friend from a very young age. So, we've always done a lot of things together. So I took his word and I took the jump in and I jumped in. I found out it was, although the basics are the same, you buy and sell and try to gauge value. Going from more of a fundamental analysis where I'm researching companies and making sure they're healthy to technical analysis, which is the stuff you see me do now, like on the charts where I'm marking up stuff and looking for price action patterns. It was a completely different game. And I certainly wasn't prepared for that at the time.
Okay. So suppose in US a student in class 10
Mhm.
and he wants to become a trader, who is inspired from you or any other trader, who wants to become a trader, what one first thing he must have to do?
I I would say commit to learning before trading. I think many people, including myself, that we rush into the process where we want to get in right away and experience it, and it always ends the same. We always end by losing money. And what's cool about trading is it's one of the few businesses where you never have to lose money until you're completely ready. So my advice to anyone joining is just like to or joining trading, just make sure you learn first. Get it out of your mind that I'm going to put any money in the market. I'm going to dedicate 3 months, 6 months, a year, 18 months, whatever it may be, to just learning and practicing. And I'm not going to put any of your hard-earned money at risk until you're absolutely ready.
Okay. So tell me something about this. You are in stock market as an investor or a trader?
Yeah, so I was a short-term trader when I was in the stock market. I thought I was an investor, but I was buying and selling things pretty quickly. So in hindsight, I was probably kind of a more of a trader in the stock market, but I thought I was an investor. I didn't have the patience to stay in anything too long at the beginning, so I would move stuff around a lot.
Okay. So you have many strategies in forex, but
Mhm.
tell me about who is your mentor, because I'm researching your profile and watching your all the videos, and where you mentioned you have lots of mentors. Suddenly luckily you got a mentor who trained you. So tell me about your mentor.
So I had two main mentors, Todd Brown and Jason Stapleton.
Is they are also from US?
Yeah, both from US.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both from US. Yeah.
Okay.
And I found them on the internet. I was stumbling, doing searches to learn how to trade myself, and I found an article, and I read the article, and it mentioned Jason Stapleton's name in the article, and I searched him, and I found his website, and I filled out something called a trader evaluation, and I had no idea that he would actually call me, but later that night he actually called me, and I actually picked up the phone because usually I don't pick up the phone for numbers I don't know.
Lucky.
Um, and I picked up, and he pretty much ripped me to shreds as a trader. He gave me this evaluation, and I pretty much failed all the answers. And at the end, he said, well, he made me realize that I had no idea what I was doing. And that was kind of I don't want to say the rock bottom point, but that was, I needed to be that low in order to accept the fact that like I need help and I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. And what he did was he said, hey, I've got a group of traders I work with. Just come sit with us for like a week, do it for free. And then at the end of the week, let me know what you think. And I swear, after day one, just seeing the community and the environment, I said, I'm in. I want in. I don't need to wait a week. I know what I want. I know this is what's going to help me be successful. Let's get in.
Okay. Is there still touch with you or not?
Yeah, we're not as close as we used to. We used to be business partners, and then he went on
Oh,
to develop some other businesses. But yeah, we're still friendly. We still chat every once in a while. Usually, we see something funny, and we'll talk about it. But we don't talk on a day-to-day basis like we used to back when we actually worked with each other.
so you and your mentor is also a partner in your own company.
Yeah, he was. So originally, he was him and Todd Brown. They had a company called Trade Empowered. And after I learned through them, and then after learning through them, I was actually brought on to coach there as well. And then Trade Empowered broke apart in 2018, and that's when myself and another Jason Greystone, and Darren Ogleby, we started up our own company called Tier One Trading.
Okay, so a trader mentor to a partner,
Mhm.
how different it is? Because sometimes the decision in terms of company, it's make conflict in both of you maybe. So how you guys tackle for this problem?
So it was never a problem. The thing
Okay.
that I loved about my mentors and their business is it was a family feel to the business. So it didn't feel corporate. It just felt like a bunch of friends that wanted to join together for the same cause. So he asked me to join a while ago just because he knew me from him being my mentor, and I said no. And once I finally accepted yes, it was no different. We were just doing what we always did. We were trying to help traders out, and there was never any conflicts. He was still my mentor, but also more of a peer as well. I still leaned on him for advice, and I would still ask him for things, but there was never any conflicts there. And I think that was the cool thing about what we did. It was everyone in that entire company felt like a family. So, we'd visit each other's kids, we'd hang out, we've had dinners, we've had lunch, we travel across the country to meet up with each other. It wasn't a business at all. And I think that's what made it so different than maybe some of these other companies out there that's
Exactly,
purely
exactly.
focused on the money.
Exactly, it's amazed because I never seen a mentor, a partner, and never have any conflict in business. Not even a discussion like I am correct or you are correct, like this type of thing. Nothing. Okay.
Yeah, not through me, no.
Sir, tell us about your strategies, because when I wanted to learn from your YouTube videos, it was completely out of my head because I didn't understand the butterfly structure you made in your charts and Fibonacci and all. I didn't even understand. I'm trying to get it, but I'm not able
Yeah,
to understand. So tell me about
it's it,
huh, yes.
So it's tough because there are a lot of strategies that I trade and a lot of strategies that I teach as well. And I would say, I think the most confusing part about trading is it's really like learning a new language. And if you don't know the language when you first look at it or when you hear it, you're confused and it seems like a lot because you don't know what's
Yes, yes,
going
yes,
on.
sir.
But once you learn the language, we call it the language of the market, it gets a lot simpler because everything is really rules based. And I think that's one of the biggest difference between, what you see on YouTube and what you see kind of in the training. On YouTube, it's meant to be educational, but it's not a training lesson. So we're not going back to the really, really basics each and every week because that would just get repetitive and redundant. Where on the platform where we're actually teaching traders, we start at the very basics and kind of teach them that language from the ground up. And then by the time they get into the fancy stuff, your butterflies and your head and shoulders and your this
Yes,
and your
yes.
that, it actually makes a lot more sense because they've actually learned what we call the foundational principles. So it is tough. I would advise to anyone who is new, just like don't focus on the specifics of the things that people trade. rather focused on the process and how they came to the conclusion that I want to buy here or I want to sell there or whatever it may be.
There are so many tools which is not able to understand.
Yeah.
In a normal person who is not in technical background, don't know about so much computer and all, it's very tough for them to understand the tools, how you use, how even a simple thing like Fibonacci, how you use to make a Fibonacci chart and all. It's very tough for them. Also, sir, I know about your strategies, about
Mhm.
your price action mark strategies and all. You are a this is my biggest question from you, which is I thinking I asked you so many questions. At that time I was thinking like, because in India I already do some traders podcast, and they are mostly based on SMC traders. So
Mhm.
for them who don't know about trading, like a 15-year-old child who don't know about
Mhm.
trading and who must first time listen about SMC, what is SMC, what is price action, can you give a brief different about them? What is SMC, what is price action market trading, and which type of trader you are, please?
So I'm a price action trader. You can SMC, it falls into that category, and it's one of those, not that it doesn't exist, but it's a trendy word right now, and 6 months later there'll be something else trendy that comes in. Again, not saying smart money concepts isn't true, but it really just is the foundational elements of price action trading, kind of packaged in a way that makes it fun to say. But I would say this: trading, no matter how you trade, price action indicators, even fundamental, it's all about pattern recognition. And what that means is that the market puts in a series of price patterns. And these are price patterns that when you identify them, they have high probabilities for certain outcomes. And the job of, as a trader is to be able to identify when these patterns are occurring and put themselves in position to benefit on the outcomes. And you're not going to be right. You're not going to benefit every single time. What we're doing is we're playing a game of probabilities, but we want to put ourselves on the side of the edge, meaning that as traders, we have a statistical advantage. When we see this, it's more likely to do A versus B. And if we consistently put ourselves in that position to benefit off of A, then bigger picture, we're going to put ourselves in a place where we can be profitable. So it's really just analyze, and there's millions of patterns out there. It doesn't matter what you choose. There are very simple ones, there are very complicated ones, but it's finding a pattern that has an edge. It's being able to consistently extract that pattern for the market, from the market, and then psychologically just not make any mistakes. Which the psychological side is the hardest part of it all.
Okay. So now the part of my traders have been waiting for your price action strategies. Is your own
Mhm.
strategies, and how many strategies you have?
So it's funny you mentioned this. I just did a podcast. It'll probably come out tomorrow on. I got a question asking the same thing where it's like, are these individual strategies, but they
Yeah,
kind
yeah, yeah.
of blend
I know. I
together?
watched your videos at daily basis, and you replied from their comment, tag
Yeah.
their comment, and you replied at that question. I remember that question, but I want to
Yep.
you brief about that in this video so that my audience can relate it.
Yeah. So it's anything could be a strategy as long as it is rules based, meaning there are specific things you have to follow to execute it. And there can be simple price action strategies where, for example, if you see a classic one is called a head and shoulders pattern, where the market puts in a very specific pattern formation and then it's supposed to do a certain thing after that. That could be a strategy in its own right. Or you can use that as part of a bigger strategy where you're looking for something else, and then that specific thing, the head and shoulders, is your entry reason to actually get involved in the trade. So there's no real limit to kind of what you can do as a trader. You can take very simple strategies and trade them in their own right. You can take very simple strategies and have them be specific parts to a bigger strategy. And the cool thing about trading is that is everything is customizable. There's no one strategy that a trader has to trade. They can really create their own approach to the market. So me, I'm a price action trader, which means I don't use a lot of indicators. I only have about one indicator on my chart at a time, but I'm looking for different patterns in the market, mainly using support and resistance. So I look for price action to come to previous levels of support and resistance. If price action can hold at those levels, then I look to trade reversals off of those levels. If price action violates those levels, then I wait for the retest and then look to play the trend to the next level of support and resistance. So in my style personally, there are a lot of different pieces that I use when I trade, but every one of those pieces revolves around support and resistance or structure, as some call it.
What is support and resistance, and how a new trader can understand and how they apply in their trading?
So support and resistance are levels where the market holds or pivots. So like if you see price action kind of go up and then it reverses at that level, well, that level at the top of the triangle per se would be a level of previous structure resistance. And that is a level that will become important in the future. Same thing with support. Support is going to be vice versa. If price action comes down and then pivots to the upside and creates that V kind of look, then that is going to be a previous level of support, and that can also be an area of importance for a trader.
Okay. And sir, what accuracy of your strategies?
It varies on a strategy per strategy basis, but typically I'm accurate anywhere between 45 and 60% of the time. Usually I'm about 55% as a trader. So I like to tell traders I lose almost just as much as I win. I think it catches a lot of people off guard because, well, what's out there on the internet is that you got to win 80% of the time, 90% of the time to be a successful trader. And that's just not the truth. If you look at the top traders of all times, many of them win anywhere between 40 and 60% of the time. It's more about risk management and taking advantage of your wins and managing your losses that makes you successful as a trader.
Okay, in India, many traders are told about when they many traders who became a mentor, and when they introduce about their strategies and all, they committed like my strategy is full 99% or 90% full of accuracy. My opinion, what trading market is every day is different. Then how can anybody predict that my accuracy is like 80%, 90%, 99%?
Yeah, so you can do something that we call back testing, where you do historical testing. So you take a look back at historical data, and then you run your strategy through that historical data. And although it doesn't predict the future, because like you said, we never know what the future is going to hold, it can give you the most accurate idea or an inaccurate idea of what your strategy should produce. Now, with that being said, just as far as the specifics of like the trader that is saying 99%, whatever, 100%, I try to I, I try not to judge any trader different unless I'm in that trader's shoes and I've traded their system. I try not to say that what they're doing is right or wrong, but I would say this: if anyone ever came to me and said their strategy was correct, I would run the other way because they're going to scam me pretty quickly. That's just not realistic in the market. Again, there are outliers out there, but most of the time when you hear stuff like that, it's complete
They are
bogus.
making fool.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Once I research about your, when I go to research about your tier one trading website and all,
Mhm.
I found out something like 2618 patterns, 3 bar reversals, like support and resistance. You already told us, and
Mhm.
how, because you use only one indicator as you told me, and you trade like as your market analysis as per that. So
Mhm.
how our because when I research about some, I asked some people who is interested in trading. They told like this teacher is very best teacher. He guide us 3 indicators, 4 indicators, and in trading you must have to use indicator, candlestick pattern, and all and all and all, which is again head out of my head, and I
Yeah.
don't understand because of not that much kind of good in trading. So
Mhm.
you clarify this confusion. Is trading is must depend upon indicators, how many indicators are required, and they what they told us like 3 indicators is good, candlestick pattern is good. Please elaborate every single thing in a different way, every single topic.
Yeah, so the truth about trading is that there are endless ways that you can trade. You can be a trader that uses indicators only, and you can have a successful trading strategy using a single indicator. You can be a trader that uses indicators only and uses multiple indicators. You could be a trader that uses zero indicators and only price action. You could be a trader that uses a minimal amount of indicators and they only support price action. So you can definitely be successful any of those ways. It all depends on really what your trading personality is and your philosophy on the markets. Now, I would say that there is a point where you can get indicator overload. So if you're using too many indicators, you're probably going to get a lot of false signals or conflicting signals. So I tell traders that, when building a strategy with indicators, you're probably looking to use no more than three. You may have an entry indicator that helps you determine when to get into the trade. You may have an exit indicator that helps you determine when to get out of the trade. And then you may have like a filter indicator that tells you, hey, I should only be bullish, or I should only be bearish. Once you get more than that, it can kind of get overwhelming and confusing. So you want to pick the indicator that's best for what you want to achieve as a trader. So yeah, you can certainly be successful trading all indicators, or like me, where I use a single indicator and could probably just trade without any indicators at all and be successful that way as well. In fact, many of the strategies I trade don't use indicators at all. So it's really up to the trader, but there's no wrong or right. It's all about what's wrong or right for the individual.
So you have seen thousands of traders. Top three
Mhm.
reasons 90% are fail. Why?
Psychology. They can do all the right things when there's not money at risk, and then as soon as there is money at risk, they get all crazy. They enter trades too early because of FOMO. They're afraid they're going to miss out. They move their stop losses back because of fear. They're afraid the market is going to get them. They get scared to enter trade. So, mistakes like that. So, psychological reasons are the number one reasons that traders fail, in my opinion. I guess the second reason would be that they rush into things. There's a very specific process that I think you should follow to be a consistently profitable trader, and that process takes time. And unfortunately, a lot of people want instant gratification. They want to get in right now, trade right now, make money right now. And unfortunately, there's no businesses that are successful doing that. So because they rush in, they skip the steps needed to become successful. Three, I would say just lack of education, or lack of realistic expectations where traders expect too much from the market. And I've spoken to and taught many traders that are actually doing really well, but because their idea of well is here and they're right here, they'll give up and bail, even though all they need to do is keep doing what they're doing and give themselves time and they'll reach that level. So I think either lack of education when it comes to what to actually expect from trading. You're not going to make $1 million in a day. That's not a real thing. But also lack of education as far as like learning the principles of how to trade instead of just learning what to trade.
Exactly, sir. Psychology, and many people think like quick rich scheme it is, and they don't even want it to give a month or a year. They think like today I'm enter in the market and today I'm the king of the market. I can earn
Hmm.
whatever I want, but market never moves at anyone's according.
You're
Sir,
dead on.
uh, once I I was known about you have you once managed 250K $1,000 client money, the pressure of other people money. How did you handle it, and is it correct you exactly handed 250K $1,000 capital of someone else?
Yeah, so after I got successful in trading, I didn't have a lot of money to start in
Exactly, it's
trading.
a
So
very huge amount.
yeah, so I was like, okay, well, this is not a get rich quick scheme. I'm not going to make $1 million in a year based off what I had. I need to turn my trading into a business. And the business that I decided to go with was to manage money for others, meaning that I would be in charge of managing their accounts. So I went door to door. I asked a lot of people. I got a lot of no's, a lot of doors shut in my face. I got in front of a lot of people, gave a lot of presentations, and got a lot of no's there as well. And eventually I had a few smaller yeses, but eventually got a big yes who he agreed to allow me to manage his account. And how I got into it. With that being said, I hated it. It was miserable. It wasn't fun. It was stressful on a few levels, and although I don't regret the experience, it was cool to have that experience. It did teach me about what I didn't want to do for the rest of my trading career.
Okay, exactly, it has a big pressure. Yeah. So how you think about yourself? You are an investor or a trader?
Both. I invest and I trade. If I had to choose one, I am mainly a trader. As far as my active stuff, my investing just isn't so active. That's, throwing money in places and just letting it stay there and build up. But yeah, I would call myself a trader for sure.
Okay, okay, okay. Because your profile have mentioned as an investor and a trader. So it
Yeah.
will a conflict. You are an investor or a trader.
Or both. You can certainly be both. Yep.
Yeah. Exactly, sir. So, you in at your YouTube podcast channel, 1200 plus podcast episode you are daily consistently uploaded. What is the exact secret of your this consistency? Because I'm also a YouTuber, but I'm not that much consistent.
Yeah, it's just trying your best to stick to it. It helps that I get so much feedback from the podcast, from the YouTube videos. I know that people are getting value from it, so I feel this responsibility to give it to them on a consistent basis. I know that there are a few YouTube channels that I watch for other stuff, and I get excited every time one of those YouTubers uploads because I get to watch something and I can't wait for the next one. So understanding that there are people out there who feel that same way about me, it feels like it's my duty to kind of be consistent as possible with the content that I'm putting out. And I also love doing it. It's just fun. It's different from being in the charts. I get to talk about something I love, which is trading, my family, my sports. So I look at it as a labor of love. It's not something I have to do. It's something I get to do.
Okay, you established your company at 2018, one
Mhm.
tire trading. So, as a you have already two profile, investor and a trader. So when you want think like now I am capable to train someone, and when your training journey start as when you called as a mentor of a trading.
I started teaching in 2012, I think it was.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
think
yes.
2012 was when I started teaching. Yeah.
So what inspired you to become a teacher or a trainer?
It was just giving back. So after I managed money and I didn't feel any value from that, meaning that I was helping people that were already wealthy make money. And although I was making money, which was selfishly good, I just didn't feel I felt kind of empty. And I've always been taught to give back, whether it is charity, whether it's giving my time, just from a very young age. My parents were really good at doing that for me. And I know that whatever I do in life, right, coaching track is the same way. I want to do something that will help leave the planet a little bit better than it is when I was here. So for me, having the ability to, or I guess considering myself blessed to have been able to, I guess, be one of the few that have made it in trading, I kind of feel like it's my responsibility to kind of help that next generation, just as my mentor helped me. So I didn't want to do education for the longest time. I just didn't think I was worthy as a teacher. I was still learning as a trader, in my opinion. I'm still learning today. But once I did get into it and seeing how it looks to work with people, seeing the looks on their faces, hearing the stories years later of like, hey, I did this and I did that, and in small parts it's thanks to you. It makes you feel warm in the heart. It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing, and that's ultimately that's all I want to do. Leave a legacy of something positive on this planet.
Okay. So, take us back your track coach time when you are struggling for three jobs and you are still track coach in your same university where you graduated. Am I correct?
Yeah, yep. Still coaching track
How was
to
that?
this day.
Because you
Yes.
already an investor, you already a trader, you already a trainer in trading, and also a
Hmm.
coach in a
Yeah.
university. How you manage your time and how it is different? What makes you to keep doing?
I do things I love. So the reason I got into trading in the first place was because I loved coaching track. And the job I had a job offer from an internship that I did, and in order to accept that job offer, I had to give up coaching. And being stubborn and selfish, I said, I don't want to give that up. I want to keep coaching. So I had to find something that I can do that would allow me to coach. And as you mentioned before, trading gives you that time flexibility. I knew that I would be able to coach and be a trader at the same time. So I've always loved coaching. It's again, it keeps me, I'm a sports nerd. I'm a former runner as well. So it keeps me in contact with something that I really, really love. So it's stressful. It's a lot of hours, but like I said before, when you're doing something you love and you have purpose behind it, you find a way to make it work.
Exactly. Train most student like 1,000 plus, like.
Yeah, over the years I've worked with I don't know the number right now, but tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands by this point. We've been doing it for a very long time and we've worked with a lot of traders. Yeah, some more than others, obviously, but we've impacted a lot, which is pretty cool.
Okay, tell us about one student who reminds you of your younger self, struggling with three jobs like.
Ooh, three jobs. I'm trying to think. There's one trader buddy of mine named Cody, which always reminds me of me. And we don't live too far from each other, but we had our children around the same time, so we kind of bonded through that. And he was someone that was working a few jobs. He had a new family, and he was consistent every day. He would show up, he would ask questions, and just never made excuses and found a way to make it work. And he ended up being really successful in trading. He still comes back to this day on the tier one trading platform and helps out the younger generation. And I guess I would say he reminds me a lot of myself, not just because of the work that he put in, but the fact that now he feels that it's his responsibility to kind of come back and help the next generation. And that's very helpful for us. And it's very cool.
So you told us about the tough time of yourself and your student, which is realizing your younger self to you. And your story is already a legendary story. But when it comes about family, what did it cost your family? Did your wife ever say, like, sir, this trading dream is crazy, get a stable job? How did you convince them? What sacrifices did you they make for your success?
No, she always believed in me. And maybe she had doubts inside her head, but she's a very positive person. She's an entrepreneur as well, and she was like, "Hey, you're chasing something you love. I'm gonna support it. I'm not gonna crush your dreams." And that was necessary because there were not a lot of people like that. Even family members were just like, "Hey, what are you doing? This is silly. This is stupid. Just take the normal traditional path." So yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be married to someone who is so supportive. I don't know, she may have doubted me. If she did, she never would have let me know because that's just the type of person she is. And she saw the bigger picture of what we wanted as a family. She's big on family. She's big on freedom and being there for children. And, being a trader gives me the flexibility to be there for my children and be a part of their lives, kind of in a way that her father wasn't one in her life. So, we were on the same page with it, and at the same time, I support her in everything she does as well, and I think that's why it works so well.
She is really a very supportive wife or a supportive
Yes.
partner. Her role in your life is really important, and
Mhm.
that's why you everywhere mentioned a proud husband and a proud father of two
Yes.
kids.
Yep.
Exactly, that's amazing story, sir. Sir, if you could force everyone entire trading student to follow, not only tier one trading student, to all over world, across the world, because you have a worldwide student. So,
Mhm.
if you have to tell them to follow just one rule, what was that?
Follow your rules. We believe in rules-based trading, meaning that we're not just coming into the charts or the market and doing random things. We have a trading plan, and in that trading plan, there are very specific rules of what we should do, what we shouldn't do, when we can do something, when we can't do something. It's honestly all laid out in kind of like a trading Bible, I guess you can say, or like a trading booklet. And if you stick to your rules, assuming they've been put together the correct way, you should have success in trading. So if I had one bit of advice, I would say, hey, you put in all that time, effort, and energy into creating these rules, which are meant to help you become successful. You should follow them, right? Because that's the way to becoming successful. So follow your rules.
Exactly. Follow your rule, follow your discipline. Sir, I found out that you are also a real estate investor. Is it correct?
Yeah, yep. I had a got into real estate investment. I guess around the same time as I did trading. Yeah.
Okay. Still very confusing how you managed your time. It's very tough.
Yeah, a lot of energy, a lot of coffee these days now, but
Okay.
a lot of energy, yeah,
Do you love coffee?
and purpose. Say it again.
Do you love coffee? Because most of your videos you already mentioned it.
I do now. I didn't for the longest time, but it grew on me. I had a guy that I worked for when I was interning, and my job was to get him coffee like 3 times a day. So I spent most of my hours at the coffee machine, and then like one day decided to give it a taste. And I'm like, ah, this is nasty. And then like over time, it's grew on me. I think it's more of just like a part of a routine now than me actually enjoying it. Where I wake up, I get my coffee, I look at the charts, but yeah, I enjoy it.
Sir, now you are a stock market investor in US. You are a forex trader. You are a trainer in forex trading. You are already a track coach. You are a real estate investor. Already you have many roles in your one single life. So uh, now I wanted to which is a very big point in today's time, because today's world is growing and converting very much in digital currencies, web3 projects. I hope you know very well about it. So tell us about the web3 project, if someone who didn't know about it, because many of Indian families are
Mhm.
think crypto is completely scam. Don't even think about cryptocurrencies. So what you wanted to tell them?
Cryptocurrencies are pretty much digital currencies, so not kind of hard asset currencies. I'm not personally a fan of crypto now. I have no problem with anyone that invested it because, from a speculator's perspective, if you find something and you think it's going to gain value for whatever those reasons may be, invest in it, trade it. I've just never been a fan of crypto because I don't see the big picture. I don't see the end game of it. If it were something that I thought had an end game and that is more sustainable or perhaps replace something that's current, I would. I like the concept of digital currencies, just not any of the coins that are out there. So I've never been an investor in crypto. I'm not saying it's negative. You can trade it and invest in it like anything else. Just not my personal cup of tea.
Okay, one of the my in India, one of the Indian stock market platform like Zerodha. It's called Zerodha. Zerodha's founder also is not called Nikhil Kamar. I don't know you hear about him or not. He's also not in so much favor about crypto. But in your own country, the president of US, Mr. Trump, he is very much interested in crypto. How is that?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to pretend to know what goes through President Trump's mind or why he likes stuff or why he doesn't like stuff. But yeah, he's in favor of crypto or digital currencies. Whether he's actually in favor of it, whether he's just saying it for personal gains to gain money or to gain voters, who knows? But yeah, he's a fan of it. I'm not though.
Exactly. No worries, sir. Specific advice for an Indian trader struggling right now, 1 minute only.
Have a plan and stick to that plan. Focus on process over outcome, meaning that going through the process of trading correctly is more important than the outcome. I think sometimes we judge ourselves too much on win being good, bad being lost. But in trading, you can do everything right and be wrong. You can do everything wrong and be right. Again, it's the law of large numbers, the bigger picture that matters. And if you follow the consistent process, you're going to be right in the long term, even if you're sometimes wrong in the short term.
Okay, so you are a price action trader, and me in forex trading, people are trading in currency and commodity. Can I know you are a commodity trader or a currency trader or both?
Currency trader, yeah, currency trader. I've
Specific
invested in commodities before.
currency trader specifically.
There are a basket of them. So currencies are traded in pairs. So I trade about 12 pairs personally, and the pairs are between like, for example, like the US dollar and the Canadian dollar would be a pair, or the euro and the US dollar would be a pair. So when you currency trade, they're traded in pairs, which makes it pretty much a battle between one currency versus another currency, and you're trying to figure out which one is stronger than the other.
Okay, okay. So tell me about your favorite currency pairs.
Well, the one that's making the most money for me is my favorite. So I try not to play favorites. They go through ebb and flows. There are ones that I trade more than others just because that's how kind of they operate. But I honestly don't have a favorite. I have a portfolio, and whenever a signal comes within that portfolio, I take it. Some are more irritable than others. Some are faster, some are slower. They all have their own personalities. So like I would imagine like being like different children where they're different, but you don't kind of love more than the other one.
Okay. So, coming back to your tier one trading education platform. So, if
Mhm.
someone wants to join your, like,
Recommend is this, and what we do for our tier one trading platform is, we don't sell individual courses. We just sell a membership, and you get everything that's available. So as a member, you get access to every single course. You get all the live resources, the live rooms, the communities. There's no kind of upsales or anything like that. What I would recommend to anyone who's interested is you head over to www.tier1trading.com and you start with our trial membership. What it gives you 14 days on the platform, and that allows you to kind of get a feel for us as coaches and then also the content that we're teaching before you make any type of decision. You can also communicate with our community and be like, hey, tell me a little bit more about these guys, tell me a little bit more about that guys, and kind of get the real deal.
if someone in India who have not that much income, like $100 monthly income, or not more than not in even $100 income at the monthly, and he have to manage his family expenses and all, how would he join your courses?
Yeah, so you can split the payment up into different payment plans or whatever like that. But if someone's in a position where they can't afford to work with us, this is why we do so much on social media as well. This is why we have the Trading Coach podcast. This is why we have the YouTube channel. Usually every 3 or 4 months, we host an online workshop that they can join. So we understand that, especially with how prices have been and prices, differently in different places of the world, that everyone can't afford our program. So we want to give different options for those who can't, so that they can still kind of progress in their trading journey. Yes, we do usually three-day workshops every 3 or 4 months, and we're probably going to have one coming up soon. But if you're in touch with us on social media, meaning you're following us on the podcast, the YouTube channel, anywhere
You
on
have
social
already
media,
Instagram community also.
yes, we start promoting it on there. So we usually try to promote it at least a couple weeks out. So if you're in the mix with us, you'll hear about it because you'll see post after post, or if you're on the email list, you'll see email after it promoting it. Because there is some, spots do fill up, I would say, pretty quickly for that. So we try to get it out as quickly as possible. That way people can plan their schedules.
Okay. Okay. So, sir, tell me something. It's I'm not that much commitment that is fact or fake. Okay. I'm
Mhm.
just listen about it. You must have to correct me. Is it fake or correct? Okay. You have a team,
Yes.
personal team.
Fact. Yeah. So I coach at a university here. Yep. So fact. Yep.
They are play for you or for the university.
They play for the university, and
Okay,
we coach them. I coach them. Yeah.
you are not own that team.
No, no, no. It's a school.
It's
It's a
also
school
a
team.
fake.
I don't own the team. So fake. No. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Now coming back to again trading. Sir, tell me about since you started your forex trading journey to till now, one single trade which gives you highest profit and one loss, which feel you like no trading is not meant for me. I have to quit this. One which loss
Uh,
or one which win.
so biggest loss, and it wasn't a single loss, but it was a few losses that came at the same time. I was trading a bunch of Japanese yen pairs, and there was a natural disaster that happened, and the market just crashed and burned, and I crashed and burned with it, and pretty much lost about $30,000 in about a week's worth of time, and that was the by far the biggest loss that I've ever taken at once. Again, it wasn't one trade, but it was a bunch of trades that lost all at the same time. My
Highest win.
biggest win came on. Trying to think of my biggest win. My most important win. I'll tell you this. came on the New Zealand dollar. This is when I was still learning how to trade, and I had the bad habit of not letting trades play all the way out. So up to that point, I would always take profit early. This was the first one that I let it ride and actually go to its fruition. And it ended up being, I think, about a 600 pip trade. So that was my biggest win and most kind of game changing win as well.
Okay. At that point, you think trading is something which is can be your full-time career?
Yeah, that gave me confidence. Yeah, I thought it could be beforehand, but I wasn't really doing so well. But that trade definitely gave me confidence that hey, I do have the tools to be successful in this.
What was that, if you recall, what was that year when you think now trading is my full-time career and this is going to be my profession?
Probably 2000, maybe 2010, I would say. 2010,
Okay,
maybe
okay. Sorry
2011.
to interrupt you. And what was that your age at that time?
My age, 2010, I would have been 25, I think, 25. Yeah, 25.
Okay,
Yeah, 25.
okay, okay. At 25 in 2010, you think Forex is something which is meant for my career. I can go professionally for this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought that before 25, but this is when I started to really believe it.
Okay. So suppose if I am wanted to become a Forex trader for full-time career, what are the two, three uh, things which is a must be in me, or what was in my trading career, what is must be important? When I at that time I thought, now I have to quit what I am doing right now, and trading is something which is meant for me, and I
You need to treat it like a professional. So you have to understand that you need a business plan, you need a trading plan, you need the discipline to follow it day in and day out, and then you have to be very patient as well, understanding that you know the magic of trading is how your profits compound, and what that means is that it you don't shoot up your equity curve right away. It's kind of a slow trickle at first, but then as you give it more time, your profits get bigger and bigger. So you have to make the time investment as well.
okay. Sir, uh, because I am from India, so can you tell me about how actually you have a worldwide students
Yes.
already? So can you tell me how many students you teach from India?
Off the top of my head, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, okay, fine.
Sorry.
So suppose in Indian trader have a unique struggle, family pressure, government jobs, small capital, RBI rules. Right now, because in India, RBI restricted, our central bank, RBI, restricted
Mhm.
93 brokers in India. How they trade in India in Forex?
Well, it will be the same process. So, I keep repeating myself in this but I truly believe it is like you have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan. It has to have a proven edge, and you have to be able to execute that. And whether it's
Actually,
Forex, whether it's the stock market, you just have to be consistent with your approach to the markets.
sir, in India, Forex trading something called illegal.
Yeah. So if it's illegal in India, then you wouldn't be able to trade it or trade Forex in India unless you do. Maybe there's alternative ways of doing it. Maybe you can't do spot Forex, but you can do Forex options perhaps. But if not, then you may have to take a different route. Maybe do just be in the stock market or something in commodities.
Suppose if you are in India, you started trading today, and you have 1 lakh rupees. It means like $1,000 approximately,
Mhm.
and you have to trade in India. What was your exact 90 days plan to go from zero to consistently profitable trader?
Well, I would start with sure I educate myself on what trading is. After I'm educated on what trading is, I would go about either finding or developing a trading strategy. After that, I would spend time back testing that strategy. So looking over it and tracking data over a historical period, sure that I can actually execute said strategy in the live markets. And then by then, after those 90 days, if that would have happened, it would probably take more than 90 days, but if that happened during 90 days and I'm worthy, I would start trading live after that.
Okay, okay. Now the dark reality, one of when the candles goes on red, 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 how
Hmm.
be patient?
Say it again.
When the candle goes red, red,
Oh,
red, red, red,
yeah.
you think SL hate, SL hate. How to be calm and be patient?
You just got to stick to your rules. Trust yourself, trust your plan. If you've done your work correctly, you've put a stop loss in at a price where the market shouldn't go unless you're wrong. So as the market's doing its little dance up and down, you got to trust your stop loss. That you trust your analysis, and that hey, it's in a good level. And if it's hit, I take a loss and I move on to the next trade. But if it's not hit, then I need to trust the trade and truly see it out.
Okay. Sir, when you are 80-year-old, looking back, what do you want to be remembered for more than anything? Great trader, tier one founder, or a tech coach, or an investor?
Um, just a good person. It doesn't really matter, honestly. Just a good person, someone that gave back and provided value.
Exactly. Something which is very important in today's world.
Mhm.
So, sir, you already recommended so many books for trading. You
Mhm.
already told me ki first go and read about market, how move market.
Mhm.
So, what is the market language? Can you recommend 5 books for Indian traders who are completely new in this field?
5 books. Yeah, so I would say Market Wizards is a good book. That's going to talk about the historical great traders. You can see kind of the ups and downs of their careers and how they approached the markets, and everyone did it a little bit different. Trading in the Zone is a good one from Mark Douglas. That's more about trading psychology. Um, there's one right in front of me actually right now. Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques by Steve Nissen. This is more of a technical book. So if you're looking about learning about the charts, that's a good book as well. Another good book for beginners, technical analysis is, where's it at? It's called Technical Analysis Masterclass. That's another very beginner friendly book on like analyzing charts and introduction to indicators like that. And then finally, One Good Trade by Mike Belfiore. That's a look inside a trading prop firm and kind of um, just talks about the importance of treating your trading like a business and how to treat your trading like a professional and instead of a hobbyist.
Okay. So, sir, these are books are very important for the beginners, and
Mhm.
I wanted from you. I know your schedule is quite busy, and you give me only 1.5 hour time. I'm trying to finish everything in that time zone. So, can you give a one piece of advice for a trader from worldwide, from anywhere, either from US, India, Israel, anywhere? One piece of advice for trader who wants to become a trader. What advice was that? What that is that?
I would say that good traders are great risk managers, meaning that we all want to make money from trading, but the best traders are good at managing risk. So not overexposing ourselves to the market, cutting our losses short, and just not wasteful or not being wasteful with our money. So good traders are great risk managers.
So traders, listen all the words, all the miracle words sir told us, and give his pure, very precious time to us. Sir, you have delivered pure gold today from my listeners. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
My,
you.
the bottom of my heart, action step for everyone. So listeners, go backtest strategies and found a mentor who teach you in a right direction. Okay, sir. So thank you so much, sir. This evening is very special for me.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you giving me the chance to be here on the podcast. I love the questions. They were great questions. I've done a million of these, obviously, and you shot some really good ones in. So you did
Great
a
to
great
hear
job. I
that you
love it.
like it.
Yeah, no, it's you did a great job. Trust me. Trust me.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Nice to have you. And Definitely, whenever I have chance to came US, I definitely wanted to meet you.
Okay, let me know then. All right.
Definitely, sir.
All
So,
right. You have a good night.
thank
Yep.
you, sir. Thank you. Good night, sir.
Yep. Take care.
Bye, sir. From India, we say namaste. Hello.
Namaste. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I know
from
namaste.
India, we
Yeah.
say namaste. Your time is very precious, sir. I know. So that's why I try to finish it in a very short time.
Mhm.
Somehow manage my question in a limited box. Do not get so much time because you already have such an incredible journey and
Mhm.
your personality is just legendary, sir.
Thank you. Thank
I'll
you. I
try to
appreciate it.
become 0.1% of yourself. It is enough for me.
So maybe we'll do, if you have more questions, we can always do it again. That's always fine.
Sure, sure, sure. Definitely, sir.
Mhm.
Whenever I feel I have to do once more podcast more, I'll definitely
Yeah.
reach out.
Please do. Please do. I'd gladly come back on.
Now, as your time priorities, thank you
Mhm.
so much, sir. Once again, namaste.
Yep. Namaste.
Bye,
Take
sir.
care. Bye.